Hello, 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 hello. Good morning. Hope you're all well on this Wednesday. Oh my goodness. And I am live from Toronto. Yes, I am still on the travel kick. I will be for the next few weeks at least anyway. In Toronto this week, in St. Lucia in a couple of weeks, and then New York in a few more weeks after that. So it is a summer of travel, y'all. So let me give you a little bit of the view, and hopefully my camera will cooperate. And let me make sure that I can see what I am showing you as well. Here we go. Okay, so that is the view. Let me pan down a little bit from Toronto. So you may or may not know, Toronto is a very, very big city. Generally, the surrounding downtown Toronto areas are known as the Greater Toronto, Greater Toronto Authority, GTA, which includes Scarborough, which is where I am right now. But yeah, I am on the 17th floor, so if it is loud, I do apologize. You know, it's big city noises, but I did want to give you all a little bit of the view because it is a beautiful day today. It's supposed to rain later this afternoon, but right now it is absolutely lovely. Anyway, let's get into what we are talking about today. Week 2 of 4 in Love Like a Carnivalista is Self-Love Selfish, Part 2. So I talked about Part 1 last week and why self-love is important. And I mentioned one of the self-love myths. And today I'm going to talk about 2 more of those myths. Now, if you've been watching this far and you're like, who is this girl? It's your girl, Isha here, Carnivalista in Chief of the Carnivalista Lifestyle. And if you're watching, say hello. Tell me hello in the comments. Have you been to Toronto? Please let me know in the comments below. Oh, and I do have to share my latest Pandora charm. I finally got a Canadian flag, and I'm very, very excited. Where is it? There we go. Yeah, hopefully you can see that. That's my latest Pandora love. And as you can see, I have a few on here. Trinidad, I have Barbados, I have Argentina, there's a St. Lucia one here. I have 2 Trinidad ones actually. This one here that's hiding is a Trinidad one. But yes, that is my latest charm. I finally have a Canadian one and I'm very, very excited. So, all right, so let's get into the self-love stuff. So why I decided to talk about this. I'm really, 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 really tired, and I mentioned this in part 1 as well, of the messages that we consciously and subconsciously are given about loving ourselves, and that we need to put everyone else first because we're women, and we give and we give and we give, and we need to put everybody else first. And I'm just really at a point in my life where, and they say once you turn 40, you know, you don't really give a shit, right? Apologies for the profanity. But yeah, I'm at a point in my life where I want other women to we need to start putting ourselves first, right? We need to start loving ourselves. And I'll get into, a few more reasons, but that's where I am in my life right now. You know, I want to spread the self-love around because loving myself and beginning to put myself first has done so much just for my own personal growth and development, and so much for my family around me, because putting yourself first doesn't mean that you're not doing for anybody else. It just means that you're taking care of your own needs, and that means that you have so much more to give, you know, without burning yourself out, without not getting your own needs met, you know. So I'm just really, really tired of the messages that we have been sent as women, and that's why I really am passionate about self-love, especially for us as Black women, because the reality is, you know, when we love ourselves, it allows for our better support and care of others, as I said before. There's lots of love to go around, right? So why not give some of that love to ourselves, or even all of the love to ourselves, and then it multiplies and we're able to give love to others. You know, you can't pour from an empty cup, And if your cup is devoid of any self-love, and perhaps there's some self-loathing in there, yeah, there's so many things and there's so many ramifications that lack of self-love has. You don't have healthy boundaries in your relationships because you don't recognize your own value. You don't cherish your own value. Your relationships and situations that you're in right now, they constantly exploit you, or they harm you, or they are emotionally draining to you. Those are all signs that there's a lack of self-love in your life. And it goes on and on. When you don't have self-love, the amount of signs that are in your life currently that come up day after day after day is a clear sign of a lack of self-love. All right? Okay, so that's my why. And as you're watching, tell me in the comments if you think self-love is selfish. Let's definitely have a conversation about that. So let's talk about myth number 2, because I spoke about myth number 1 in part 1. So let's talk about myth number 2. And it's that self-love is a sign of arrogance. This one really gets me going. Just because I've been accused several times in my life of being arrogant, by men and women, actually. There were no gender exclusivities with that accusation, right? And generally, the message has been, how dare you love yourself as a Black woman? How dare you put your needs before mine? Who do you think you are? And I've generally been asked those kinds of questions throughout the course of my life, right? The last question, who do you think you are, I have been asked by a man before, and this was actually in the workplace. So yeah, loving yourself is not arrogant. Actually, they could not be further apart from each other. And here's why. Because true self-love involves so much humility and so much self-awareness. You have to be fundamentally aware of who you are, what you want, and what will make you happy to give yourself love, right? When you take the steps to feed yourself, when you take the steps to feed your body and your soul, and you show yourself love, that is tremendous. And it does not have to be mutually exclusive, right? It's not mutually exclusive, because as I said before, when you love yourself and you give yourself love, there is so much more to go around, because your cup overflows. Your cup is overflowing. God would not have created the concept of self-love if he did not want you to love yourself, right? And that is definitely a core belief of mine. It would not exist if it was not meant for you to have it and practice it with yourself every single day, so your cup is full, so you can pour into others, right? So as you start on your self-love journey and you start to make more decisions that are in your favor, as you start to fill your own cup and love on yourself, you're going to come across people who are going to ask you these questions, right? Who do you think you are? Who are you to put yourself before me? Who are you to do X, whatever? Who are you to? All right. And I find as Black women, we get asked that question so many times, because literally we are usually at the bottom of the list, of our own lists, and at the bottom of other people's lists when it comes to considering us for promotions, when it comes to considering us for a better quality of life. We are put at the bottom of the list and we're automatically discounted, right? So don't discount yourself. There's lots of people out there who want to discount you and who are going to ask you, who do you think you are? Don't discount yourself, all right? So when people ask you those questions, please remember this mantra, because it is one that I have said to myself and still say to myself. I don't need to say it as often as I used to, but I still say it to myself every once in a while to remind me that what others have to say about me is none of my business, because people are going to talk, right? People who are not loving themselves, and I'll talk about that in the next myth, but people who don't love themselves and loathe themselves, hate themselves, they are especially the ones who are going to talk about you and ask you, who do you think you are, right? It has nothing to do with you. That is not your business. Whoever is talking about you, saying whatever, or saying to your face, who do you think you are? That is none of your business. Just brush it off. Remember that mantra. Remember that I told you that mantra, okay? Because what others have to say about you is really none of your business. So you go about the business of loving yourself. You go about the business of filling your cup and making sure that you are not pouring from an empty cup. All right? I promise you, when you start to put yourself first, your relationships and your perceptions and how other people see you and perceive you, they are going to shift, because they have been used to you not they have been used to you not putting yourself first and not loving yourself. So all of that does not happen in a vacuum. And as I said, what others have to say about you is none of your business. Brush it off. Love yourself. Fill your own cup. All right, sis? It's more than okay. All right, so that's number 2, the second myth. Let's talk about the third myth, and let me see if and definitely if this is resonating, leave me a comment, say hello, tell me what's up. Does this make sense? Is it crazy? Am I crazy? I might be crazy, and that's okay too. All right, so let's talk about the third myth. Self-love is unnecessary or indulgent. I really don't understand this myth, because it's basically saying that being kind to ourselves is unnecessary. What? Loving ourselves is indulgent. Really? No, it is not. Self-love is essential for our well-being and for our personal growth. I'll say it again. Self-love is essential for your well-being and your personal growth. You hear me? It doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's not for nothing, right? Self-love is not for nothing. In my opinion, we're meant to fulfill 2 things in this life, right? We fulfill our purpose, and whatever that purpose is, get clear on what your purpose is and fulfill your own purpose, all right? And we're here to grow. And those are the 2 things that I believe that we are on this earth to do, all right? Of course, there are many other things, and you may believe differently, but that is my belief. We are here to fulfill our purpose. We are here to grow. We're not meant to be the same. We are meant to grow, and we're meant to change. And I know change is a scary thing for a lot of people. But that's another one of my mantras that I've been repeating for at least 2 decades. The only constant in life is change. The only constant in life is change, because things change all the time. The tree on the street corner, the grass, it is constantly moving and growing and changing. So why, as humans, do we hold on to this concept that we are always the same? Because we are not. We are never always the same. There's always something shifting and changing. And, one way, if you feel that you've been stagnant, and that may be your reality, and I'm not here to argue your reality because that's yours. One way that you can change and grow right now, and that will shift your world, is to love yourself. Many of us are walking bodies of self-loathing, and it spills over, and you see it every day. If you're on social media, if you watch the news, if you watch anything, if you are a consumer of any kind of media in this world, you see it spilling over. That self-loathing that is inside of people. There are literally people who are walking around who hate themselves. Hate themselves. And it is sad, because we are meant to be beings of love. And that self-loathing, unfortunately, spills over, and we see it in the hateful messages that people put out there, that we are bombarded with at times. It feels that you just want to go, put your head under a pillow and just not look at anything media related forever, right? And that's because what's on the inside of people, it shows on the outside. So when you really, really love yourself on the inside, just as you are, I promise you, it shows on the outside. And this is essential. You remember earlier I was saying it is essential to you, and it is essential to your growth. It is also essential to the world around you. It is essential in your home. It is essential in your city, in your state, in this country. And yes, I am in Canada right now. but it is essential in the United States of America as well. All right, so remember that self-love is essential to your growth. It is essential to your well-being. It is essential to your peace of mind. And I promise you, once you fill your cup with self-love, there is so much more that you have to give, because it spills over. It spills over, and you can't help but give that love to others who are around you. All right, that's my time today, peoples. I definitely don't want to talk too long and make an hour-long video, although I could. So I will definitely leave a comment here for more, because I will be publishing this spiel, if you will, later today. So definitely visit my website if you want to read some more and see some more about what I have to say about this topic. Because I have lots, I can tell you for sure. This is probably a 15-minute video. Yes, it's just at the 15-minute mark. I have lots more to say. So if you definitely want to check out some more, you know, check the comments, check the description to this video. And if you're catching the replay, please say #replay. And let me know what you think. Is self-love selfish? You know, let's have a conversation about this. I definitely want to know what you all want to have to say about this topic. All right, so next week, I am going into week 3 of Love Like a Carnivalista, and we will talk then. In the meantime, have a great week, and I am always hugging you up. Take care.